Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans. Now I'm recording this. It is Saturday, 1:15 p.m. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. It seems like for the first time we're having a legitimate fall weekend around these parts. Like, it's cloudy outside. It's a little bit chilly. Definitely light sweater weather around here, but can't complain. As you know, in my last videos I've done, I think live streams, finally got the apartment room, well, my bedroom painted and stuff like that. Today's like okay, let's regroup, put everything back to where it was, do some cleaning, do some laundry. Obviously getting videos done, because I've actually noticed a big increase in views on my episode review and trailer breakdowns, mainly because, well, those are the videos people want to see, and also because it's a lot better to post one video at a time as opposed to like 12. So with that being said, this isn't a filler video, but I'm in between loads of laundry, so I figured let me get at least one video up on the channel for Saturday. And this is a video that I didn't even think I would be doing, but I've definitely noticed an increase, and this is probably because the show returned last Tuesday, or this Tuesday, of people, just saying, you know what, man, it's like the show, it's kind of like, I don't like it as much anymore, but I'm intrigued enough to see what's happening next. Honestly, that's what a lot of people said about Too Close to Home on TLC, because I did read some articles about that recently, where the show wasn't that good, but it was addictive enough to keep you watching every Tuesday. But the reason I'm doing this video is to talk about the dialogue of, oh, sorry about that. Wires got crossed during microphone wire got mixed up with the charger. Talking about the haves and the have-nots and the repetitive dialogue. This is something that I've just noticed people commenting on my stuff and telling me about it in live streams. And I agree, because for those of you who are new to the channel, keep in mind this is totally unbiased. I mean, I'm a fan of the show, but I don't work for Tyler Perry. I talk about the good about the show. I talk about the bad, hence why I don't talk about the pains anymore. But I will agree that the show does have a bad habit of recycling dialogue, where whether it is, okay, we have Jeffrey and David talking together in one scene, and then next Tuesday, Jeffrey will be talking with another character about the exact same thing he was talking with David about in the previous episode. And then some characters are pretty one note, where it's just the same dialogue every time you see them on the screen. With Wyatt, it's about drugs. With Veronica, it's about Jeffrey. I mean, basically revenge. Let's just say revenge in a nutshell. Justin, I'm not gay, but I want this dude to, suck me off. It's just ridiculous how. And then Candace about the money. Benny just being an asshole. It's just so repetitive every single Tuesday. But I will say this much. The reason I'm really doing this video is because people have been asking me, hey, Jeremy, a couple weeks ago, when the cast for like If Loving You Is Wrong and the haves and the have-nots, when they were filming, a lot of the cast members were holding up scripts and whatnot. I still have not sat down to go through all the photos people have sent me. Once again, thank you for sending me that stuff. But I just haven't had time for full-blown theories on that kind of stuff. But I will definitely look into that soon. But I remember one big thing that the haves and the have-not stars were posting about. It's like, oh man, today's going to be a crazy day. 82 pages of script we're going to get done in one day. Very impressive. By no means am I saying that's a light feat, because I do know that when it comes to camera work and whatnot for shows and movies and whatnot, there are sometimes different takes. So the fact that there are 82 pages, I bet it's one of those things where, okay, let's go ahead and knock this out, where, we'll get the best version and send that off to, production or post-production, pre-production, whatever. But basically, I've talked about this before, quality over quantity. Very impressive that Tyler Perry is able to pump out all that stuff at once. But is the dialogue exclusive? Is it unique? Like the dialogue on those script pages, are they just the same lines of dialogue but the different characters? Is it character? Like, for example, in the last episode, and I said it's in my episode review, why the hell was the first 10 minutes that long? We did not need to see Candace and Benny talking that long. And even so, like the first 3 or 4 minutes was nothing but Benny going like, wait, that's my money. I know that's my money because I had it stacked that way. And there's blood on it. So that's the blood from the dude that mommy stabbed. And you see what I mean? You see what I mean? Where it's just the same repetitive dialogue, but just stretched out to fill in the time. Trust him. Look, I know Fluff. I know Fluff when I see it. Do you know how many papers in college had to look? My major should have been in like clouds or whatever because there was so much fluff in all the papers and all I did very well. But I know what it's like when you have to hit a word count, even when doing a speech, when you got to hit a time limit. Same thing with a TV show. It's like, what can we do to pad out the episode? Okay, let's have Benny mumbling over his words for the first few minutes. Let's have Candace very uninterestingly say, this is my money and I need it, that kind of crap. So I can definitely say that the show is guilty of dialogue. And let me just say this much because I said I wasn't going to talk about the show anymore, but the pains. This is one of the main, aside from that annoying laugh track, this was one of the main reasons I stopped watching the show because that show was the epitome of fluff, of just filling in time like a 20-minute slot. Like you couldn't write any interesting dialogue for the characters. It's just like some scenes don't even have dialogue. It's people going shrugging or and it's just filling in the time. I think what's his name? Terrence is the contractor. That's the one that fixed up the laundromat. Kendricks is the abusive boyfriend of Nyla. He is just the primary example of a character who has the most worthless dialogue on the show. Like, what was it, that episode where Nyla went off and said she was going to leave with the kids and they were going to go with Kendricks, and he's like, I didn't mean you stay with me. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? It's like for 5 minutes, one sentence. But yeah, I will agree, guys, that the show is guilty of repetitive dialogue, drawing out scenes. Honestly, guys, it is not as bad as it used to be. I think like season 4 was the biggest culprit of this because there are some scenes that would be like 10 minutes long, like just 10 minutes between two characters talking about nothing. And I think somebody actually made a comment a few days ago on Facebook. It's like The Haves and the Have-Nots is one of those shows where you can miss 4 episodes, but then not miss much at all. Like somebody could just catch you up in a few minutes. That is true to an extent. I will agree with that. But like I said, if you go on Hulu, because I've had a lot of people tell me this, like, hey, Jeremy, either I came into the show. These are people who either came into the show like in season 4 or season 3, or they just got into the show in season 5 in 2018. And then there are people who watched the show like me from the beginning, but they've forgotten a lot of stuff that happened in the past. And they go back, it's like, Jeremy, man, I just finished like watching the first season and a half, or I just finished watching the first couple seasons of The Haves and Have-Nots. It used to be so good. What happened to most of these characters? And I'm like, that's why I'm stressing to people, if you haven't done so, go on Hulu, watch at least the first 2 seasons. I mean, I could also suggest season 3 because that's when Oscar shows up and it really gets good. But I feel like the show was at its peak during the first 2 seasons. And then look at I feel like even back then the dialogue was at a higher level. Like it really was. Like the the puns, the quips, the sarcasm. Like this was back when curse words were rarely used. When a bleep actually appeared in an episode, you knew some major, bleep was going down. So I definitely do suggest that. But yeah, this video really wasn't supposed to be that long, and trust and believe I'm not fluffing it up like the script of The Haves and the Have-Nots. But yeah, again, very impressive that you're knocking out like a season's worth of episodes in like a week or 2. But again, quality over quantity. I would rather have 10 good episodes for 1 season than to have 50 episodes that are the quality of the first, the first 10 episodes of season 5, basically the first 10 episodes we got in 2018, some of the worst stuff I've ever seen in the show. Like, I wish I could just erase it from my memory. Some of the worst stuff ever put into The Haves and the Have-Nots. But the rest of the season has been very good in comparison. So once again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I don't want to assume for everyone, but I feel like a large majority of you will agree that the show has a lot of repetitive dialogue. And that's the only reason I'm doing this video, because a lot of you pointed it out to me. And not that I didn't know about it, but I never really thought I would do a full-on video about it. But with that being said, let me edit this video real quick, get it up on the channel. I'll probably just have one photo in the background, because this is the kind of video where you just listen and nod your head as opposed to having to pay attention to the screen. But let me get back to cleaning, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. As always, be sure to follow my social media. Links are in the description below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so we can hit 50,000 subscribers before the end of the month, and I'll talk to you all later.